reminding me. Okay, so we are going to start chapter 4, but before we do that, let me announce that Neha Kanatra Mataji will be our overall coordinator for this course. She will be helping us keeping student database, recording, sharing that feedbacks, and coordinating everything. So she's going to be our single point of contact for anything regarding this course, and she's going to post all the WhatsApp messages on our WhatsApp group. So please respond to her messages. Personally, I'm very grateful of her accepting this service and helping me run this program smoothly. Thank you so very much, Neha Mataji. Very grateful of you. So let's begin this class today. Um, so I hope all of you can see my screen. This is chapter 4 entitled Transcendental Knowledge. So we are going to cover 4 topics today. One is eternal education. So we'll understand that the knowledge that Krishna is giving to Arjuna is not just the knowledge which is suited at that particular time at the time of battlefield, but it is an eternal knowledge that Krishna is giving. And then we'll see how Krishna, through this knowledge, is clearing a lot of misconceptions that are still very much propagated in societies today. And then we'll see how Krishna removes a lot of karmic reactions that we have incurred from eternity of time, from birth after birth, we keep incurring even today. And then we see the sacrifices that we should be performing, the importance of sacrifices, and how we should be performing them. Right. So this is our agenda. 4 topics we will be covering today. So this is the first one. We'll see eternal education. So the first 10 shlokas we'll see the eternal education part, and next 6 shlokas will cover different misconceptions. We'll understand different misconception in society, and then removing reaction and sacrifices. There are many shlokas and sacrifices, but we'll touch base some of them. So let's start. So this is the first shloka of the 4th chapter. So you see, just to recall quickly, in the first chapter, we saw that when Arjuna's chariot was placed in between the two armies, Arjuna was not able to fight. He says that on the opposite side, I see my teachers, my grandparents, uh, even my own son I see in my party, so I can't kill them. These are my own relatives. I can't kill them. He was so depressed, morose, and he was feeling so helpless that he was not able to stand on his own feet. Can we imagine such a great warrior who has the power to change the direction of wind by just by shooting just one arrow? He was so powerful, and he was in such a depressing situation, in such a helpless situation, that he was not able to even stand on his feet. So he said, Krishna, I cannot hold this Gandiv. I am keeping it aside. And Karpanya dosho pahata subhava prichhami tvam dharma sammood cheta yashreha shyan vishyatam bruhitan me shishyaste sadhi mam tvam prapanna. That is the important thing. He says, Shishyaste I am your disciple. I am accepting you as my spiritual master. So please instruct me. So that we understood in the first chapter. And then second chapter, Krishna explains a lot more things in detail. Why he should fight, what is soul, what is karma, what is Gyan Yoga, Dhyan Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and everything. And then Krishna thinks, okay, I have given him everything. Now he will decide what he has to do. But in the third chapter, Krishna again, Arjuna starts asking more questions about renunciation and duty. So Krishna explains different yoga ladder to Arjuna. So, so that is our overall summary so far what we have discussed. So on a very high level, if we see, we understood that we might be in Arjuna's situation anytime in our life, right? We might be depressed, helpless, we don't know what to do. We might be having big degrees, right? But sometimes we feel like, why we are holding big degrees if we are not able to solve this minute problem in my life. So Krishna was also like a big he was also a big degree holder from Dronacharya school of thoughts or whatever. So but what he does, he takes shelter of Krishna, right? So that point we understood this part, that okay, we are in Arjuna's situation and we take shelter, that we understood. Now Arjuna was very fortunate, he took shelter of Krishna because Krishna was right there as a chariot driver on his chariot. We are not probably that fortunate. So we understand today in this fourth chapter who we should take shelter of, right? That Krishna will explain today in this eternal education part that we are going to discuss. So this is the first shloka of this chapter. Yeah, says Shri Bhagavan Uvacha imam vivasvate yogam proktavan aham vyayam vivasman manve praha manu rikshvak brevit. So here, translation, the personality of Godhead Lord Krishna said, I instructed this imperishable science of yoga to sun god Vivaswan. So Vivaswan is a sun god, which means Vivaswan is actually a person. So during when the creation starts, then like Brahma, I think I need to explain this first. So you must have heard about Brahma, Indra, or you must have heard about Agni Dev, right? All these devs we always hear about. So these are actually post. These are not like person. These are post. For example, Prime Minister is a post, and people keep changing on this post. For example, Narendra Modi is the Prime Minister of India, or Biden is the President of America. So President, Prime Minister, these are like posts. So similarly, Indra is like a post, and king will keep changing on this post. Similarly, Agni Dev, this is a post. Person will keep changing on this post. Brahma is a post. Person will keep changing on this post. Similarly, sun god Vivaswan was a position. So Krishna is saying that at the time of creation, I instructed this science to Vivaswan, and Vivaswan instructed it to Manu. So you must have heard, right? Manushya came from this word Manu. Manu was the first Manushya, you can say. From Manu, all our all our Manushya came from Manu. So Vivaswan gave this knowledge to Manu, and Manu gave this knowledge to Ishvaku. Ishvaku was Raja and Rishi. So Raja means he was the king, and Rishi means he had this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. The person who has the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is known as Rishi, and then based on his occupation, you can give him a title like Raja. So what Manu did, he gave this knowledge to Ishvaku because Ishvaku was on a king position, so he can influence lot of people. Assume, uh, uh, sorry, Smita Mataji, I'm going to put you on mute. Give me 1 minute. Smita Mataji, can you go on mute, please? I'm not able to do it.
When he came back, it's like, yeah, it's so crowded. At Prabhu's home. Yeah, because he had to check on.
Smita Mataji, can you go on mute, please? Okay. So, right. So what happened? Manu gave this knowledge to King Ishvaku, and why he gave this knowledge to King? Because King can influence a lot of people. Imagine if the president or prime minister of a country has this knowledge, and he is talking Bhagavad Gita knowledge, then how lot of people will get benefit of this knowledge. So in ancient time, what they used to do, there was a parampara, which means Krishna himself established this parampara. He says that okay, I am giving this knowledge to Vivaswan. Vivaswan gave this knowledge to Manu, and Manu gave this knowledge to Ishvaku, and then from Ishvaku, lot of saintly kings understood it in that way, right? So that's an ancient science. Krishna is not giving this just to convince Arjuna to fight. Actually, what happened? Last year I was in India, and one of my friend in Delhi, he invited me for a discourse on Bhagavad Gita in his home in Delhi. So I went there. We had a nice kirtan, and then we had a nice discussion on Bhagavad Gita after that. So while coming back from there in Delhi metro, I met this gentleman. And from my dress and tilak on my forehead, he understood. So he started talking to me. And then he said, "Oh, I have also read Bhagavad Gita many times." And I was like, "Oh, that's good." So I said, "What is your understanding? Like, what Bhagavad Gita is all about?" Then he said, "Oh, Bhagavad Gita is like Arjuna wanted to fight, and Krishna convinced him to fight. That's all." I said, "Okay. Do you want to elaborate more?" Then he said, "For example, if I want to murder someone, and so initially I would be reluctant to murder anyone, but because you have the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, you can convince me to murder anyone." I said, "This is very dangerous." So I literally got the shock of my life. I was like, "No, Bhagavad Gita is not about this." And so that's how I understood that. So we will know that there is a problem. Now, Arjuna may also ask that, why are you telling me now this science? Then Krishna explains in the next shloka. Krishna says, "Evam parampara prapmim imam rajarshayo vidu sa kale ne mehta yoge nashta parantapa." So you see, nashta means this is destroyed or lost. Yoga means this science that we are discussing, this science of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is saying, nashta parantapa, this science is lost. With the due course of time, sa kale ne mehta, Krishna is saying that this supreme science was thus received through chain of disciplic succession. What is the meaning of disciplic succession? Krishna is saying, I gave this knowledge to whom? Vivaswan, sun god. Vivaswan gave this knowledge to whom? Manu. And Manu gave to whom? Ishwaku. So it is a disciplic succession. Krishna is giving this knowledge to one person, to next, to next. So Krishna was the spiritual master, Vivaswan disciple. Vivaswan became the spiritual master, Manu disciple. Manu became the spiritual master, Ishwaku disciple. Like that. So it was a disciplic succession. So Krishna is saying this supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession, and the saintly kings understood it in that way. But in due course of time, sa kale nete mehta, in due course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it is appears to be lost. So that is the reason Krishna is saying, I need to tell you again, because this science appears to be lost. And definitely it must have been appear to be lost. Otherwise, Arjun was very scholarly person. He was a great warrior. He was a great knowledge also. He could have understood it. But when Krishna gave this knowledge to Vivaswan, though this parampara, Vivaswan to Manu to Ishwa, this was lost. So Krishna is saying, now I told you again, or I'm going to tell you more about it. Why? Because this disciplic succession is broken. And because it is broken, there is no one to give this knowledge to. So there is no one today who can give this knowledge to anyone. So I'm re-establishing this chain again through you. That's what Krishna is telling to Arjuna. Now, Arjun might say that, then why me only? Why are you telling this science to me only? Am I so special? Then Krishna is saying, yes, you are special. What is the speciality? He's saying, Sa evayam mayeteyad yoga prokta puratana bhaktosmi me sakha. Bhaktosmi me sakha. These are the two qualifications. We see friend and devotee. Cheti rahasyam het dutma. So why Krishna is saying rahasyam means this is a mystery. See, if you go to Amazon.com and just type Bhagavad Gita, you will find a lot of authors have written a lot of things about Bhagavad Gita. Lot of things. But who can understand this rahasyam? Krishna is explaining, Bhaktosmi me sakha. Only these two people, a person having these two qualities, can understand it. He should be the devotee of Krishna. That is the bare minimum qualification one needs to have. And when he will develop more and more faith in Krishna, then he will become certain relationship with Krishna as a sakha, as a friend, or in Vatsalya Bhav, as Yashoda Maya, or Vasudev. So there should be some relationship with Krishna to understand Krishna. We see in our general life also, if we want to understand a person, we develop some relationship with him. That's why it's like a layman also. If you want to understand a person, person, someone is saying something, so straight away the person who is close to him, he will understand, oh, he's saying this, he meant this. Other person will not understand this. So Krishna is saying this is rahasyam. This science is rahasyam, but you can understand why I have chosen you, because you are my devotee. And as a devotee, you will understand what you will understand my language. So he's saying, translation, that very ancient science of relationship with the Supreme is told by me to you because you are my devotee, my dear friend, and can therefore understand the transcendental mystery of this science. So that now you can understand, right? Last year when I met this gentleman in metro, why he was not able to understand? Two reasons. Why? Because he must be reading some Bhagavad Gita which was not in parampara. We understood that this science should be understood in parampara. So if we are reading some book and some author has written it, and that author has not understood this Bhagavad Gita in parampara, which means from his spiritual master, and his spiritual master has not understood it from his spiritual master, like that in succession, then he will not be able to deliver the exact message Krishna is saying, right? So what is this parampara? Are we reading this Bhagavad Gita in parampara? That's a obvious question. For example, I met this gentleman in metro. Why he was not able to deliver the exact message Krishna is saying, right? So let's see. Lord Krishna has actually established, there are four Vaishnav Sampradaya, we call them. So there is one Sampradaya, you see here on my screen, that is Lord Brahma. Another Sampradaya, we call them Shri Sampradaya also, this Shri Lakshmi Sampradaya. Then Lord Shiva, and then other comes from four Kumaras. So four Kumaras means Sanak, Sanatan, and Sanat Kumar. These are four children of Brahmaji actually. So they are eternal brahmacharis, eternal celibate. They have taken a vow to be celibate eternally. So all these great Vaishnavas, they connect the living entities with Krishna. So in the parampara of Lord Brahma, we see Madhvacharya came. In the parampara of Sri Lakshmi Ji, we see Ramanujacharya came. In the parampara of Lord Shiva, we have Vishnu Swami, and the parampara of four Kumaras, we have Nimbarkacharya. Now, which parampara we are understanding it? We are understanding it Lord Brahma parampara. Now, let's see our hierarchy. So, Lord Krishna gave this knowledge to Lord Brahma. Then Brahma gave this knowledge to his son Narad. Narad accepted Vyas as his disciple, and he imparted this knowledge to Vyasa. Similarly, Vyas gave this knowledge to Madhvacharya, then Padma. So, like that, you see, this is a disciplic succession coming down. Jayati, Gyan Sindhu, Dayanidhi. Like that, these disciplic succession keep coming down, keep coming down. Even Krishna himself came into this disciplic succession 500 years back, and he accepted Ishwarpuri as his spiritual master. And then he also became a spiritual master himself. And then he gave this knowledge to Rupa Goswami. There are Shat Goswamis, one of them is Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami accepted Raghunath Das Goswami as his disciple. And similarly, Raghunath Das Goswami, Narottam Das Thakur, this chain keep coming down to A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, whose Bhagavad Gita all of us are reading and referring for this discussion that we have been having since last 1 month. So if for example we are reading this book and we look at the author who is A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and someone asks, okay, who is the spiritual master? Then okay, this is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Then who is the spiritual master of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur? Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj. So we have the disciplic succession going from bottom top to Lord Krishna. There is no nothing we are concocting from our mental thoughts and saying, okay, probably Krishna said this, probably Krishna said this, no, probably Krishna meant this. No, we are presenting the science of Bhagavad Gita as it is. Now, this is the next sloka. Now, when Krishna said that, okay, I gave this knowledge to Vivaswan, then immediately Arjun was like, okay, you gave this knowledge to Vivaswan, but Vivaswan is very older. You and me took birth a few decades back. And Vivaswan has been there in the creation since beginning. So this is an obvious question. For example, I met you and I say that I discussed this. I discussed something with your grandfather when he was in young age. then you will start calculating, right? You'll think, okay, my grandfather, young age of my grandfather, and this guy looks in 30s. How is it possible, right? So similarly, Arjun also gets little bewildered. He says, "Aparam bhavto janam param janam vivasvata kathmedam vijaniyam tvamado prokta vaniti." Now let's see what Krishna replies. So Krishna says, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tav charjuna tanyaham ved sarvani natvam ved parantapa. Krishna says, Bahuni me vyatitani. Vyatitani means spent. He says Bahuni means many. He says, and Janam we all know means birth. Krishna says, you and my have taken actually many birth. Tanyam ved sarvani aham. You see the word aham coming here. So Krishna says, I. Ved sarvani, I know all of them. Na means no. Tvam ved parantapa. You don't know any of them. So Krishna says that many births both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot, O subduer of enemy. That shows the eternity of Krishna. You and me will keep taking birth. We don't know what to take about previous birth. We don't know what we did yesterday or the day before exactly. And here is Krishna. He is saying that I know all the births that you and me have taken. So, and then Krishna says, Ajo api san vyayatma bhutani mishwaro api san prakartim swam vishtaya sambhavyayatma mayaya. Ajo api means jo means janma, means birth, and then a means is negation of birth. So here you see unborn. That is the right English translation of it. So Krishna is saying, although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all living entities, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. So he's saying, I still appear in my transcendental. So here Krishna is clarifying that don't consider that you and me are same. You and me are exactly same. No, you are having material body which will be destroyed. As soon as you will leave this body, people will take your body and burn it. But my body is a transcendental body. It never deteriorates. It is not like people's body. They will get old age and then disease and everything will capture in the old age and then a person will eventually die. No, I have the transcendental body. It never deteriorates. And then Krishna says, although I am the Lord of all living entities, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. Then immediately question comes, why are you appearing? What is the reason you are appearing again and again in every millennium? Then we know that famous shloka, Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya Gilanir Bhavti Bharat. Krishna is saying that there will be the decline in religion. So I come back to establish the religion so as to save the saintly people and kill the demoniac people. So that is the reason we all know. Now, what is the benefit we all derive if we know this? Then that is this is the benefit that Krishna is saying. Ganam karam cha me divyam evam yo veti tatvatah tyakta deham punarjanma neti mameti sorjuna tyakta deham. Tyakta deham means tyakta means living. Deham means body. And punarjanam neti. Neti means no. Punarjanam means rebirth. So Krishna is saying, who knows that my janam and karma, my birth and activities are transcendental, divyam. Who knows that I am not the person of this world. I am out of this world. Who knows that I am transcendental. He also, after leaving this body, does not take birth again. So see, such is the benefit of reading Bhagavad Gita. All of us who have been, for some reason or other, struggling in this material world, we understand, once we understand the science of Bhagavad Gita, we will understand that Krishna is a transcendental person. He's not like any other person roaming in this material world. He's a transcendental person appearing in this world by his sweet will, living world by his own sweet will. Once we know that Krishna is a transcendental person, what is the benefit? We also become transcendental. Means we also, after leaving this body, go back home, back to Godhead. That's the promise Krishna is giving to all of us. Now, so this is the eternal education part we have covered. Is there a question? If there is a question, please ping. Please, you can type over chat. Yes. Oh, this is a very interesting question. Yeah, Devesh Pro is asking, how come by knowing him we can free from birth of and death? This is a very good question, and it will come later in the second part only. It will come. If it doesn't, then please remind me, Devesh Pro. Let me write it down. This is a nice question. So Devesh Prabhu's question, I have noted down. Devesh Prabhu, I will answer it. Okay. If it doesn't come, I will also please remind me if I don't answer it. But I have also noted down. Okay. Any other question? Please feel free to write on the chat. And then eternal education. So we have understood so far. And who is eligible to acquire this knowledge? Devotee, friend, who is submissively coming to inquiry. Submissively means as a disciple, not as a egoistic person. Oh, how can you say this? But as a submissive disciple, can you please explain me this? And then following the instruction. And then from who he can inquire, whom he can inquire, the person who is in parampara. He should be in proper parampara system. Whoever is in inquiring should be directly connecting with Krishna. And what it is all about? It is about gaining knowledge and going back home, back to Godhead. So we covered this much so far. So yeah, so we covered eternal education. Now let's see how Krishna removes misconception. You see, in our society, we have many misconceptions. Okay, there is one more question. When one has surrendered completely to him, then how can person falls from his spiritual position? Yeah, once a person has, that is right. If person has completely surrendered to him, then Krishna actually promises to Arjuna that Sardharmana mamekam sharnam raja aham tvam sarpa mokshishyami masucha. Krishna says, Dharman Paritajya. If you have surrendered unto me completely, then I take care, and I personally take care of him in the sense, take care of his all sinful reactions, and I will make sure that he goes back home, back to Godhead. Okay, so right, so we are on this second point. Krishna removes misconception. So we have a lot of misconception in society. So one of them is, do all paths not lead to the same goal? Whichever spiritual path you follow, ultimately all are leading to the same goal. You know, you can do yam niyam asan, whatever you want to do, just do. You should be some people say, oh, I am a spiritual person. Okay, what religion you are following? Oh, I am following Buddhism. Okay, and I little bit I follow Christianity also. Okay, little bit I follow this and that also. So so that's a misconception we have in society today, that all paths leads to the same goal. It's like all road are going to the same destination. They might be going, but do you want to go the shorter way or not? Directly or indirectly, all roads will meet at certain point. So we'll understand this. Similarly, people say, okay, especially in India, people say, why so many gods are there? People go to Indra, Shani Dev, Hanumanji, Shivji, so many gods. Why there are worship of many gods? That also you understand. Similarly, we see caste system. Some people say, oh, caste system is very exploitative. So that also we'll understand. So these three misconceptions will clarify. So let's see. You see, Krishna is saying here, ye yatha mam prapadyante tastev bhajamyaham mam manu vartante manushya parth sarvashah. Krishna saying, as all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. So this is very amazing when we read it. Uh, when we develop some friendship with anyone in this world, after a certain point of time, we see that some some leakage starts coming into that relationship for some reason or other. Some person, one of the other party will start saying that, oh, he's not reciprocating properly. Actually, he used me. Or other person will be complaining that uh, actually he is not that person anymore. The person I met him sometime, he's not anymore. You know why that is happening? Because uh, we don't exactly know how to reciprocate the other person. When someone comes to us and he serves us, then we also try to reciprocate him or her, then we don't know how to perfectly reciprocate to please him. Because Krishna is residing as a super soul in everyone's heart. So he knows how to reciprocate perfectly. But we don't know. That is why we see a lot of problems in the relationship in the world today. So here Krishna is saying, as all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Which also means if a atheist is approaching Krishna with the mentality that, okay, oh, you are made of stone, you are no one, why people are unnecessarily worshipping you, then actually Krishna reciprocate him also in that way. Krishna shows him all kinds of those books or people, those are of that mindset. He reward them accordingly. Similarly, people coming to Krishna in a way like, okay, you are Krishna, you are also like any other god, Hanumanji, or Shivji, or Brahmaji, or Indraji, or whatever. Then Krishna says, yes, yes, I'm also like one of them. And then Krishna also reward them accordingly. Some people come to Krishna, they say, no, we don't, like for example, in year 2020, during COVID time, we have a strong restriction in our temple that no one will go inside the temple because of COVID. And then this lady came in, and she was like, no, I want to visit Krishna because I always ask from Krishna, and because he fulfills my desire, I had taken a vow that in 2020 I will. So I am coming from Austin. She said that I will come here in Radha Kalachandji and I will take your darshan. Now I don't know COVID and all, I will take his darshan for sure. So some people come to Krishna, they say that, no, you just please fulfill our desire. Krishna fulfill their desire. So whatever way we approach Krishna, Krishna rewards them accordingly. He reciprocates back exactly as it is. That is his nature. He doesn't go here and there. He says, as all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respect, O son of Partha. Yes, Deveshpru will take your question. So uh, now some people ask that, why Krishna? That's a common question. Usually people think that Krishna is a brand for some organization. Some organization are just using Krishna as a brand to propagate some agenda behind. But it's not like that. Actually, all the great personalities have accepted Krishna as supreme personality of Godhead. I have written here, why do one worship Krishna as supreme personality of Godhead? So let us first understand it. What great personalities are saying? We cannot be as intelligent as Brahma. Brahma is the original creator, came from the navel of Mahavishnu. So Lord Brahma himself is saying, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchid Anand Vigraha, Anadir Adir Govinda, Sarva Karana. He is also saying that, oh, you have the eternal blissful spiritual body, you are the origin of all. You are the supreme cause. Karan, Karana. Then we can see Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is also accepting he's saying you are Yogeshwara. We see Indra. Indra is also saying Vasudeva Krishnaya Satatam Pataya Namah. He is also saying salute to the supreme personality of all Godhead. You lives in the heart of all. Krishna, head of Yadu dynasty, I bow to you. So Arjun, Indra is also accepting Krishna as supreme personality of Godhead. And Krishna, we'll see in 10th chapter, Krishna is also saying, Aham sarvasya prabhavo, matta sarvam pravartate, iti matva bhajante mam, buddha bhava samanvita. Krishna is also saying, yes, I am the source of all spiritual and material words. Where is the doubt that Krishna, even Krishna, Arjuna himself is also in the 10th chapter, we'll see Arjuna is saying, yes, I heard this about you. From whom? Narad, Asital, Deval, all these, Vyasa, I heard about you that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead from all these great rishis. Narad, Vyasadev, Asita or Deval, all these rishis told me that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And now you are declaring this to me by yourself. So he said, I am feeling very ecstatic. So we should not doubt that Krishna is not Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then why it happens that people still reach out to other gods, or I say demigods? Then Krishna is explaining this in next shloka. Before I do that, let me take a question. Yes. So Ishani Garg Mataji, are you convinced now with the explanation? She's asking that there are many gods like Shiva, Ganesha are many, but why Lord Krishna is considered to be supreme? So I think she should be good now. And then let me see. Yes, this is right, Devesh Prabhu. Right. Devesh Prabhu, you have any other question? You raised your hand. Just want to make sure. Okay. Jai. So, so now the question comes: if Krishna is the supreme person, then why people are reaching out to other demigods? Then Krishna is explaining this in this shloka. Let's see. He says that कांक्षन्तः कर्मणाम सिद्धिम यजन्त ई देवता क्षिप्र ही मानुषे लोके सिद्धिर भवति कर्मजा. He says, men in this world desire success in fruitive activities, and therefore they worship the demigods. Quickly, of course, men get results from fruitive work in this world. See, we understood this in I think chapter 1 we discussed about it, that like there is a fire and you put some ghee oil into this, then fire will burn more heavily, right? You keep pouring more and more ghee, more and more fire will the fire will keep increasing. Similarly, what happens, life after life, we keep chasing lot of our desires. I want this, I want this, I want this degree. Yeah, someone needs to go on mute, please. Yeah. So we keep chasing life after life. We keep chasing after satisfying our desires. So what happens at certain point of time, we actually go crazy also. By hook and crook, we want this. So in that perspective, sometimes people reach out to demigod also. For example, you want to fulfill some desire, even though there is a prime minister, you will reach out to your immediate person who can immediately fulfill this desire. Now, if you go reach out to prime minister, he will not only fulfill your desire, he will fulfill not many other desires that you have, because he has more power. But we are so puffed up to get our desire fulfilled that we can't wait. So we will immediately reach out to the immediate person, and they'll say, "Oh no, please fulfill this desire." And then he will not think much, because he has a very limited perspective. He cannot also think like prime minister. So he will also immediately fulfill that desire. Now, what is the problem in that? Let's see. Someone can say, "Oh no, what is the problem?" Let's see the problem. There is a pastime in this. You see in this picture, there is this demon named Bhasmasur. This guy was very heavily. He was doing a lot of austerities, and he was praying for Lord Shiva. He wanted some desire to fulfill, so he was praying Lord Shiva that somehow you please appear me, and then he wanted some boon. Then Lord Shiva was still waiting, because he was also kind of waiting, because he's a demon anyway. But at a certain point, he thought, okay, if you will not come, I will cut my throat. Then Lord Shiva said, okay. He came. He appeared in front of him, and he came along with Parvati. Both of them came. Then Lord Shiva said, okay, I'm very pleased with your austerity, and I'm ready to give you boon. Please let me know what you want. He said, I want anyone's head. If I put my hand, he should immediately get turned into ashes. Then Lord Shiva said, Tathastu, I give you that boon. And then Lord Shiva started going. He said, no, wait a minute. What happened? He said, this Parvati, how can you enjoy such a beautiful lady? Parvati is meant for my enjoyment. And what do you have? You don't have even proper clothes. Even though you can give so many boons, you still don't have good intelligence. So let me kill you. And then this guy starts running towards Lord Shiva to kill. He says, I will put my hand on your head and I will turn you into ashes, and then I will enjoy Parvati. Then in between, what happens? Lord Vishnu comes as a Mohini form. Lord Vishnu takes the form of Mohini, and so when this demon looks at Mohini, then he immediately thinks, "Oh, let me first enjoy Mohini, and then I will kill Shiva, and then I will enjoy Parvati." Then then Lord Vishnu in Mohini form says, "Oh, you want to enjoy me?" He says, "Yes, yes, I want to enjoy you." Then Lord Mohini says, "Okay, you will have to dance with me then." Then during that dance, Mohini puts her hand on her head. So, and then this demon also does the same, and then he kills himself. So what happened of doing so much austerity, asking the boon from Shiva? Ultimately, zero, nothing. Now you see the same desire Hindakashyap also had. And who he approached to? He approached Brahma. And what happened to Hindakashyap? Narsimdev appeared and he killed Hindakashipu. And again, you see another example, Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj also had a material desire. What was the desire? The desire was to get even bigger universe than his own grandfather, Brahmaji. He said, I want a universe, big universe. But he approached whom? Lord Krishna. And because he approached Lord Krishna, he not only get a universe, because it is not difficult to give a universe. Who can give you another universe? So Lord Krishna not only gave him the universe, but also cleansed his heart, because that is a root problem of all our uh, that is the root cause of all our problems. So what happens in this case? This demon, his heart is dirty. That is why even though he got a boon, his heart is still dirty. So he's still looking with the lusty desires at Mohini or Parvati, right? But what happens when we approach Lord Krishna? Lord Krishna not only fulfills our desires but also cleans our heart, right? So for example, let's say a small child is asking you a knife. You will not give that child that knife, right? But if a adult is asking you a knife, you know, okay, he is an adult, we can give him some knife, he knows how to use it properly, no problem, you will give him. So similarly, Lord Krishna fulfills the desire, but if he sees that fulfilling this desire will cause some problem to my devotee, then he will not fulfill. He will wait. He will say, okay, let me first make him mature enough so that so that I can fulfill his desire that time. So we understood that why people worship the demigods and what is the problem in reaching out to them to fulfill our desire. So that's why Krishna is to be approached. So this is the position of demigod and lord we understood. Now we'll understand the caste system. That was the another topic that we have to cover up. One time when Srila Prabhupada was in UK, one person approached Prabhupada and he said that Prabhupada, in India there is a caste system and we want to create a casteless society. Casteless society. We want to create a casteless society, which means there is no caste, everybody is equal. Now Prabhupada asked that which company you work in? He said, okay, I work in this and that company. Prabhupada said, do you have HR department? He said, yeah, we have HR department. Do you have administrative department? Yeah, we have admin also. Do you have finance department? Yes, we have different departments. Why do you have all these departments? Prabhupada, for the maintenance of whole company, you need to have different departments. That is the exact point. In the society also, to maintain whole society, we need to have different category of different castes. So people based on their nature can adopt that caste and serve the society for the higher cause. So for example, in a company, higher cause is profit. So company have different department, and people, you can go into different department based on their skill set. Similarly, in society, we have these four classes, right? Brahman, Kshatriya, and then we have Vaishya, and then we have Shudra. So we have these four classes. So for example, uh, some person is very good in reading scriptures and delivering the message of the scriptures. Then he is a Brahman class person. He can read scriptures and deliver the message. He can become the head of the society. He can redirect the society towards God consciousness. Similarly, some people have a fighting spirit. So they can go in the military positions. They can protect all other people like Brahmana, Vaishya, Shudra. They can in the uh, uh, protective department. Similarly, Vaishya, some people are very good with money, so they can use that money in the Krishna conscious way. Shudra, there are worker class of people, they can support. So Brahmana can be the head of the society. Kshatriya can become the hand of the society. Vaishya can become the stomach of the society, and Shudra, they can become the leg of the society. So you see, there is a head, and there is a hand, and there are legs. So that's how full body becomes, right? So this is the Brahman, these are the Kshatriya, this is Vaishya, and this is Shudra. That's how whole society runs. And this is not something that has been made by people. This has been created by Krishna. So Krishna is saying in this shloka, Chaturvanyam maya shreshtam gud karma vibhagsha tasya kartarmapi mam vidya kartarmaya vavyam. Krishna saying, according to the three modes of material nature and the work associated with them, the four divisions of human society are created by me, means by Krishna. And although I am the creator of this system, you know that I am yet the non-doer and being unchangeable. So because Krishna is saying, okay, I created this system, someone can say, oh, you created this system, which system you come in? Like, are you Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra? Then Krishna is saying, no, I am the creator of the system, but I am yet the non-doer and being unchangeable. So Krishna is saying, there is no work, that affects me, nor do I aspire for the fruits of action. One who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in fruitive reactions of work. So there was a question from Devesh Prabhu that just by knowing this truth that Krishna is the supreme person, how can one go back home back to Godhead? See, just by knowing this truth that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, we immediately engage into his service. A very let's say a prime minister coming into our house, do we still be behaving same way in the house as we always do, right? We know the very big guy is coming, you will start making lot of arrangements to serve him nicely, and you will start paying obeisances to him. You'll ask him how is he doing, how can you serve him more, right? So that's the position. Once we understand someone's position, then comes immediately the feeling of serving, and that's how we start developing a relationship with that person. Similarly, when we know Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, so there is one thing is, there are two things. One is Gyan, and another thing is Vigyan, which means knowledge and realization. So knowledge is one thing, okay, that person, but realization is very important. So when we realize that Krishna is really the supreme personality of Godhead, then what happens? We start serving him. And when we start serving him, then we become, when our heart gets cleansed, and when our heart, a lot of desires in our heart are there, then our heart is completely cleansed, and there is only one desire left. What is that? To serve Krishna eternally. Then what happens? We go home back to Godhead. Yes, Deveshpru, you raised your hand, uh, You want to ask further question on this?
Yes. Am I audible to you, Prabhuji?
Yes, Devesh Prabhu.
Prabhuji, my question is, when we have developed a relationship with Krishna,
When do we
okay,
develop?
and we start serving,
Uh-huh.
when we develop any relationship with Krishna and we start serving him, over a period of time, it happens that we take that relationship in a granted way.
Yeah, for granted. Yes.
Anna. So how to overcome that particular point issue?
Yeah, same principle. I think we discussed it. I think okay. You were not able to join. So, see, same principle applies. All the problems. Now, I always remember this same principle: A, B, C, and D. Can you recall, Devesh Prabhu? What is it?
Association, chanting, and deity worship.
Correct. Association, book reading, and then chanting, and
Chanting
then
and deity worship.
prashadam, diet,
Okay.
prashadam, Krishna prashadam. So when we start, so for example, in a general sense, also you see, if I start taking someone for granted because I developed that relationship with him, then I should associate with those people who consider that person much more important. They will remind me the value of that person, right? That way I will understand, okay, that person is not ordinary person. Now I have started taking him ordinary, but I should recall again myself that no, his person is not an ordinary person. He is the Supreme Lord. You understood that point, right? So we have to always come around this ABCD formula. Either our association is lacking, that's why we are taking Krishna another person, or probably we are not reading the scriptures nicely, because the scriptures are always glorifying that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, we should worship him, or there is some lack in our chanting or diet. And where is that lack coming? For that, we'll have to be in touch with our spiritual mentor or counselor. They will immediately guide you where you need to work upon. Does that make sense, Devesh Bro?
Yes, Prabhu.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so Anand Prabhu has a point. He's saying that, like the electricity powerhouse, knowing that electricity is coming from only one source, we plug our devices to the outlet blindly. Yes, that is also right. So Krishna is the original powerhouse of all the living entities. Yeah. So this is the caste system that Krishna established, but all the caste systems which are created by man-made are really devastating, and they have been devastating. We all have the experience of. Anyway, so we understood this. Krishna removes misconception that we have in society today, why there are demigods, or why people are worshipping so many gods, and why caste system and misconception. Everything we covered. So we'll take the next point. But if you have any question, please feel free to type on the chat box, and I will take that up. So Krishna removes misconception. Now let's move on to removing
Bhagavad Gita class. Paragraph.
In the removing reaction part, we will mainly be covering these three things: karma and vikarma. We touch base on this in third chapter also. We'll see. So here Krishna is saying, Tulsidas Prabhu, can I please go on mute? Sorry, thank you. So in this shloka, Krishna is saying, karmanya hapi bodhavyam cha vikarmana akarmanascha bodhavyam gehana karmano gati. You will see this bodhavyam is getting repeated here. Bodhavyam. What is bodhavyam? Bodhavyam means understand. So Krishna is talking about three things we should understand properly. What is that? Karmana, vikarmana, and akarmana. What is karmana? Karmana means karma, our own good karma. Vikarmana, here Krishna is saying vikarmana. Vikarmana means bad actions. Bad means which are not as per scriptures. For example, scripture does not allow people to kill anyone. I mean, we can, for example, military people can kill because protect the borders. they are allowed to kill, but scripture does not allow to kill out of envy or hatred or something. So vikarma, and akarma means devotional service, serving the Lord, right? So Krishna is saying that intricacies of action are very hard to understand. So that is one thing. Therefore, one should know properly what action is, which means karma, what forbidden action is, means vikarma, and what inaction is. Inaction means akarma. You see, there is a nice story in Puranas. So I think I will narrate that. So you will appreciate this point, what Krishna is trying to say here. So there was this Brahman, and he used to do a lot of austerities. He was very peacefully living. One time, a butcher was following a cow. He was running behind a cow, and butcher wanted to kill the cow and eat cow's flesh, the meat. So, while the butcher was running behind the cow, for some reason, cow uh, he got little distracted and he was not able to see the cow. So that Brahman was standing there, who was nicely doing a lot of Brahmanical activities. So he asked that Brahman, "Do you see the cow? I was chasing that cow. Do you see her?" So this Brahmana thought for a minute that, "Oh, I am a Brahman. I should not be telling a lie." So he raised his right hand and pointed towards a street and said that the cow I saw going that way. So butcher followed that path. He found the cow and he cut the throat of the cow. Now what happened? In the next life, this Brahmana again became Brahman because he was Brahman. So next life also he became Brahman, and again he was doing a lot of austerities, Brahmanical activities, and everything. So he will go door to door, beg for food, and then they will give him some food. He will very peacefully take that food and live happily doing all the activities. One night he requested one person. So this householder, he requested that householder. So only husband and wife was living there. So he requested that householder, can I stay one night in your courtyard? I'm going to a long journey. Can I stay here? Then this householder husband said, yes, you can stay here, no problem. And I will give you some food also. You take this food, no problem, and stay peacefully, no problem. You can sleep here. I will give you blanket and everything. So the Brahmana thanked him, and then he went to sleep. Now somewhere in midnight, around 1 or 2 a.m., this wife came out, and then he approached this Brahmana, and she said that you are very handsome, and I want to enjoy you. This Brahmana got the shock. He's like, what are you saying? No, you should not be doing it. I am a Brahmana. I will instruct you as per the scripture. You should not be doing it. It's prohibited. You are married. Then this lady said, oh, you are not cooperating with me? I will show you what I can do. So this lady went in, and she took a knife. She took a knife, and she cut the throat of her husband, and then she started shouting. The Brahmana, when he heard the shout, he also ran inside, and then he was shocked. He said, what did you do? Why did you cut the throat? And then this Brahmana took the knife from that lady's hand, and so when lady shouted, all other villagers also came into her house because she continued shouting. So when the villagers came in, what they saw that this Brahmana was holding the knife, and the person was lying. This husband was lying, and her throat was cut, and this lady is standing and crying. You see the situation now. So the villagers they thought, oh, we thought that this is a Brahman, but this is a murderer. How can this Brahman be a murderer? So they immediately started beating this Brahman, and they wanted to actually kill that Brahman, but they said that okay, he is anyway actually not he is anyway Brahman, not in a not behaving properly as a Brahman. Will not kill him, but let us kill his hand. So which hand they killed? let us cut his hand. So which hand they cut? Right hand. Now see the karma. You see on my screen, this Brahman became a Brahman. So in the previous life, there was a butcher, and then there was a cow. So in the next life, this cow became that lady, right? And this butcher became the husband. This Brahmana actually showed this butcher the way that where is the cow. So what these villagers do? That hand was cut. The same hand which he showed the cow, that was cut. Now this butcher killed the throat of cow. So this lady, the cow, had to kill the throat back of this butcher. So this lady cut the throat of husband, right? And so this cow took the revenge from this butcher, and the Brahman also had to suffer by cutting his hand. Now Krishna is saying that's why you see the intricacies of karma is so many in previous ancient time. Also, a lot of sages had a meeting, and they used to understand the intricacies of karma, so they can understand people that you should not behave this way and that way. But Krishna is saying intricacies of action are so hard to understand that one may easily get bewildered to understand. For example, in this situation, how can you say if it happened in this life or there is some previous karma going on? You cannot do that. There is a eternity of time we have been spending life after life. For example, Dhritarashtra, he was asking Krishna that I have some siddhis because of which I am able to see until my 99th. I think I did any karma which I should have seen death of my 100 sons in this life. But Krishna, it is not about your 99th. It's about your 100th previous life. You see the calculation that Krishna has a track of each karmas. So we hard to understand. This is very difficult to understand. But there is one thing that is in our hand that we'll understand now. So there is a misconception in society today. So there is one group of people, they believe in karmavad. They say there is no such thing as destiny. Everything is in our own hand. Just do your karma, and you will get what you want. So they are like, you plant the seed, no matter rain will happen or not, the plant will itself will become the tree, right? Similarly, some people believe in Devavad. They say, oh, everything is already determined, or everything is determined by destiny already. Nothing is in our hand. Why to put so much endeavor? No. So both people actually are wrong, because they are actually talking about extreme side. Some people say, no, just do your karma, typical materialistic people. And some people just say everything is already destined. They believe in Devavad. For example, you see this pastime, there is a Vidura and Dhritarashtra conversation. What is happening? Vidura, he approached Dhritarashtra and he says that, my dear king, this gambling match that Duryodhan wants to have with Pandavas is not right. It is definitely gonna be devastating for all of us. So you are the king, you have full authority, and you are the father also. So please go and request Duryodhan not to have this gambling match. Then Dhritarashtra goes to Duryodhan and says, my dear boy will not have this match. Then Duryodhan says, no, I have a deep desire to have this match. If you will not let this match happen, I will drink poison. Then Dhritarashtra comes to Vidura and he says, oh, I try to convince Duryodhan, but this boy, he's little naughty. He's saying that I just want to have this match, otherwise I will kill myself. I will drink poison. Vidura says, let him drink poison. That will be less devastating. But don't let this gambling match happen. Then Dhritarashtra's argument was, let's see what Dhritarashtra says. Dhritarashtra says that, oh Vidura, you are a saintly person. Even I have Bhishma and Dronacharya, so many saintly people. What bad can happen to me? And anyway, destiny determines the consequences. And anyway, whatever will happen, that will happen through destiny. But immediately Vidura shouts at Dhritarashtra and he says, destiny determines the consequences of our actions, not our actions themselves. What does that mean? That means if I have some karma from my previous birth or whatever, and I am destined to be wealthy, let's say I have some karma and I take birth in a rich family. There is nothing I have done in this life. If I have taken birth, let's say in a rich family, right? It means something I have done in previous birth. That's why I have taken birth now in the rich family. But the point is, what action I perform now, which means what do I do with this wealth now, is in my hand. So the destiny has determined the consequences of our actions, but actions are in my hand. What do I do with those? What do I do with that wealth is in my hand. So Vidra is trying to convince Dhritarashtra that destiny determines the consequences of your actions, but your action is in your head. Where gambling where should happen or not, that is in your head. So that's why sometimes people take the extreme side. They, oh, let's see, let us do it. We'll see what happens. Anyway, whatever will happen, that will happen. No, our actions should be proper. So what is the formula? The formula is both go in hand in hand. Our endeavor and Krishna's grace. That is called Dev Kirpa. So, for example, a farmer plants a seed and he properly takes care of that seed. Daily he is, properly nurturing that. But let's say there is no rain, there will be no tree, which means he is doing his action, or you call it endeavor in this term. He is doing the endeavor, right? But there is no Dev Kirpa. Then what happens? There will be no tree. So what fruit he get from his own endeavor? Nothing. But let's say he is not planting any seed, and there is rain is falling continuously. Then again, because there is no endeavor, what he will not get any fruit. I hope all of you are agree with this point. So our endeavor and Krishna's grace, that go hand in hand. So that is the point. So that's called removing the reaction. Removing the reaction means the principle is we don't go by our own selfish desires, but we take Krishna's hand. We try to understand Krishna's desire and work in that direction. So that becomes a karma. Anyway, so then Krishna, yeah, we'll skip this. Actually, we already discussed this. So in this section, removing reaction, we understand karma, akarma, and vikarma. Vikarma means we'll suffer suffering. Karma means we'll get some temporary benefit. But akarma means life after life, which means our endeavor plus Krishna's mercy. So we Krishna's guidance and then put our endeavor. That becomes a karma. Okay. So let's take the next part. So we'll discuss eternal education, Krishna removes misconception. Then we discuss removing reaction. Let's move on to the last piece of this discussion, which is sacrifices. So it has a lot of shlokas from 25 to 40 or 42. All shlokas are discussing about sacrifices. We'll not cover shlokas, but the major high level what Krishna is trying to say. So Krishna is discussing many different type of sacrifices. Let us first the value of sacrifice, actually, because in this age today we sometimes feel why to sacrifice Lord. We are not ready to sacrifice even our own relationships. Then what to talk about Lord. But anyway, so let's first understand why do we sacrifice. See, so in the same example we understood, let's say there is a fire, there is a continuous fire, and then we put some oil into it, ghee oil. We put some ghee oil into it, then it will burn more, right? It will burn more. Why it is happening? See, it's like salty water. If we drink salty water, then because it is because it is salty, our thirst will not satisfy. We will feel more thirsty and we'll like to drink more water. Then we'll will drink more salty water, will become more thirsty. So it's like that. Similarly, all the name, fame, money, power, position, prestige, whatever we are getting in this world, if we will keep getting that directly, we will want more and more and more and more. We have seen that in our lives. In our college days, we just wanted a simple job, little money. As soon as we get placed, we want more money, more fame, promotion, and everything, and the thirst keeps increasing. But you see, if the same salty water is accepted, is evaporated and becomes cloud, and then cloud showers rain, and we drink that rainy water, then our thirst is satisfied. Similarly, whatever we earn in this world, like I said, name, fame, money, power, position, prestige, whatever, if we offer that to Krishna, some part of it, if we offer that to Krishna, and the remnants of that, we accept that as prasad, then we are fully satisfied. That's why we always recommend sacrifice. See, sacrifice is recommended by Krishna not because Krishna is hungry or thirsty for anything. Krishna is Satchit Anand, which means he is eternally satisfied. He is eternally blissful. He is eternally in pleasure. But why he is asking us to do this sacrifice? So we don't harm ourselves. For example, a small child, you will ask him every time, oh, don't do this, no, don't go there, don't do it, no, you can't come here. Always why? Because we are very protective of him. We know that he is not mature enough, so there is always certain rules for the child uh, to do certain things. Similarly, Krishna has put certain sacrifices for us. Why? Because we are, so that we don't burn ourselves in this fire. We have been burning actually life after life. So you see, in so many lives we have been burning ourselves. By Krishna's mercy, we have understood in this life this message of Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, we will just miss this chance also. So Krishna has actually described in Bhagavad Gita chapter 4 all these sacrifices. So all of us can purify ourselves and make ourselves ready so we can offer ourselves to Krishna. So that is why I was saying that whatever salary we are getting, we should save some part of it and offer that to Krishna. The name, fame that we are getting in our office, in our home, in society, we give that credit to Krishna. In everything that we do, there we are eating something, we should first offer that to Krishna, and then we should accept it. Otherwise, our thirst will keep increasing. So that is the reason for sacrifice that Krishna has recommended. Now, what are the sacrifices have been recommended for different type of people? Krishna has listed here. So he's saying that some people who worship the demigods, they are usually materialistic people, like we discussed today, that they want quick results. So they are karma yogis. They don't approach Krishna. They will approach demigods. So they worship different. They do different sacrifices for demigods. Similarly, Gyan yogis, they offer sacrifices in the fire of Brahman. Even Krishna was telling Arjuna that you can also perform sacrifices by killing them. He's like, wow, really? Yes. He's saying that your arrow will be ahuti. Ahuti that we put in the Havan Kund. He said, your arrow will be ahuti, and the chest will be the Havan Kund. Chest will be the Havan Kund. So all when you shoot the arrow and you kill a warrior, it's like putting the ahuti in the Havan Kund. So you will also be doing the sacrifice, and you will be also as good as a Brahman when you do your duty like that. So he's asking Arjuna to do that sacrifice. Similarly, married people, they also do sacrifice. How? They also do limited sense enjoyment. For example, the husband will put a semen in wife's womb. So that's also an ahuti, and raise a Krishna conscious children, not like demonic children like Kashyap and all. you know. So that's also raising the children in a Krishna conscious way. That is also the that is also yagna, that is also sacrifice. So there are similarly Krishna has described so many sacrifices here. Now to help us understand what sacrifice we do, how we should do, we need continuous training, and then we need continuous monitoring also to make sure we are doing that sacrifice. So how do we find a teacher, that and do we really need a teacher? Krishna is saying yes. That's what Krishna is explaining here. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya updekshanti te jnanam jnani nastatva. Krishna is saying, just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, inquire from him submissively, and render service unto him. So the two important discussed about it. Shishyasteham sadi mamta prapannam, which means we should not be egoistically discuss or ask. Submissive inquiry should be there, and then render service unto him. We should render some service also to that person. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. So we understood this, that the science of Bhagavad Gita is so amazing that even if we try to understand it by our own whimsical way, Krishna will reward you your own whimsical way. And if we understand it in a proper parampara system, then Krishna will actually reward you the knowledge, the rahasya, that secret knowledge accordingly. So that again Krishna is explaining here, that there is a need of teacher. How the teacher should be, teacher should be in parampara. Then this next shloka, Krishna is saying that the importance of caliber and character. He's saying that, but ignorant and faithless persons who doubt the revealed scriptures. Actually, some people say that oh, these books are actually have been written by someone, so there will be some faults in it. So they don't read them at all. What happened to those people? Krishna is saying they do not attain God consciousness, which means they stay demon. They remain in their demoniac propensity. Our human life is meant to purify ourselves, which means to kill our demonic propensity and go back to Godhead. But how we follow the path if we don't have faith in the scriptures? So Krishna is telling about them that they fall down. Fall down means go more and more deeper into hellish planets. And then he says, for doubting soul, there is happiness neither in this world nor in this death. They keep suffering in this world, and you approach them, you say, oh no, we are going to this Bhagavad Gita class, and we have understood the science of Krishna, so you should it in this perspective, your problem will be solved. They'll say, oh, Bhagavad Gita, no, please keep that knowledge away, don't give us gyan and all. So for them, they will be suffering in this world, and they will be suffering in the next world also. Why? Because they are not developing faith in scriptures. I think this should be the last one. So, oh, sorry, there is a question. I did not notice that. Oh, yeah, Devish Prabhu, no problem. And then Krishna says, therefore, the doubts which have arisen in your heart out of ignorance should be slashed by the weapon of knowledge. Okay. Okay, Rajpru, I will take your question. Thanks. That's a very good question. So Krishna is saying, therefore, the doubts which have arisen in your heart out of ignorance should be slashed by the weapon of, should be arised by the weapon of knowledge. And how you get the knowledge? How you will get the knowledge? From scriptures. That's why Krishna is saying that. See, here Krishna is saying doubts can be killed by knowledge which comes from scriptures, which means a doubting soul which is having doubt on scripture will not be able to kill his doubts. So he will always be in a doubtful state because he's not believing in the message coming out of scriptures, because he doesn't have faith in the scripture itself. So he will always be doubtful, and the doubtful soul has no pleasure in this world and after this. I mean, in this life and after this life. So Krishna is giving a direct instruction to Arjuna and through Arjuna to all of us, saying that all your doubts regarding this life or anything about this life or anything about afterlife, anything about Lord, anything about this nature, all them should be killed. How? By knowledge, weapon of knowledge. Just slash them all by the weapon of knowledge. And then he says, armed with yoga, O Bharat, sacrifice is not necessary. stand and fight. Stand and fight means don't be lethargic and crying. Stand and fight with your illusion. We are all illusion in this world, crying for something or other. Fight doesn't mean that we go and fight with the other person who is troubling us or not. But whatever problem we are facing with, we don't feel morose or helpless in the situation. We get this knowledge, we stand and move on in our life strongly. And that is no, what is the topmost sacrifice Krishna is actually telling? See, this is a topmost sacrifice if you see. Stand and fight. This is not easy. If we place in our all of us, if we face Arjuna's situation, we are so helpless, we are crying, morose, and then we are not able to even stand. Would be the topmost sacrifice to do something for Krishna. No, stand up, and Krishna is saying, stand up and fight. Why are you feeling helpless? Stand up, fight. That's a topmost sacrifice. Now, how do we get that strength? So one hint that Krishna is giving is knowledge. That is our uh, uh, first vitamin, I would say, the first vitamin to our body to stand up and move on in life strongly. That is first is knowledge. The second is through knowledge. The second weapon comes is that is chanting Krishna's name. Actually, Krishna's name, the Krishna's names are so powerful. They immediately captures our mind. Usually, mind is the biggest problem in our body. It will it will accept someone as his own, and it will decline someone as his own enemy also. That's all mental speculation created by mind. Mind says, okay, this person or this thing is mine, or this person or this thing is not mine, is not favorable to me. So what chanting does, chanting creates a pleasing, very pleasurable experience to the mind. And this knowledge, this uh, this brings intelligence to a healthy state. Intelligence is actually in a sick state because intelligence is continuously listening to the mind. So when your mind is healthy, intelligence is healthy, then gross body immediately starts engaging himself into healthy habits. So our the subtle part and the gross part of body becomes healthy. So that's how we get the strength to stand back and move on in our life very strongly based on Krishna's instructions. So so that was the last part. In the sacrifice, we covered the teacher. We need a teacher to train. So that's where we have one question from Raj Prabhu. Let's take that up. How to find a teacher or scripture? Oh, scripture. So scripture means what we are reading now. That is uh, scriptures means Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, the all these literature that has been written by Ved Vyasji. So it's not very difficult. What you are reading Bhagavad Gita scripture, I will give you a link from Veda. You can go to this. Let me give this to everyone. Vedabase.io. If you go to this website, you will find all the scriptures there that Srila Prabhupada has written. This Bhagavad Gita that we are referring for our discussion, that is also there, and Srimad Bhagavatam is also there. All cantos are placed there. So online that material is available. If you want online, then you can ping me, and I will make sure that you have a hard copy available there. I mean, at least in US, I can do that. If you are in India, then I will ask Udit Prabhu to do that for me. And then your question is how to find a teacher. That's not very difficult. Like we understood in the parampara, anyone you think that who is in parampara system, that you can adopt as a teacher and start discussing your problems, and he will definitely able to guide you in your material problems, in your spiritual problem, as a friend, or whatever way you want to reciprocate with him. That makes sense, Rajapu. Sorry, I have bit cold, so I'm not sure if my voice is clear. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And then we understood about caliber and character. So caliber is one thing. Arjuna had a lot of skills. Is a very following ABCD rule of Bhakti Yoga. And then we understood the topmost sacrifice, which is chanting the ABCD thing, the sense control and everything. Okay, so this is the overall summary of this chapter. I hope I was able to complete on time today. If there is any question, we can take that up.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I have one question, Prabhu. So
Yes.
we talked about karma, vikarma, and akarma, right? So we know now that okay, akarma is the best thing to adapt to
Yeah.
because it is by Krishna's mercy we reach our endeavor. So, Prabhu,
Correct.
my question is, what if now that I know that I need to be following a karma, and then I continue to do that with my good actions, right actions, but I don't really follow, or someone else, he's in the same mindset that, okay, I cannot really do all this Krishna consciousness life of, because it's really transforming your mind, right? Pretty much. But if I'm not able to adopt to that, but I know that I need to do good actions, is that going to be enough, Prabhu, for this life?
Yeah. I'm trying to understand your question, Smita Mataji. You are saying that
Mhm.
you are able to properly know the akarma part, this particular part.
Correct.
And
So now I know, I understand the meaning of
okay.
why it is important to do good actions in your life, some pious
Yeah.
deeds, because it all accounts to the the balance
Correct.
of your actions towards
Correct.
the
Correct.
next life also, or life after
Correct.
life.
Life after life. Yes.
But for some reason, like one is not able to follow the path of Krishna consciousness. Like I'm not able to do, say, chanting regularly, or following, or reading scriptures, or doing four regulative principles very regularly. But
How
I'm
much
doing
you are
good
able to
actions.
follow? That is the question. See, Krishna consciousness is all akarma. Na? There is no different thing. Krishna consciousness means akarma. Correct? We agree on this part, right?
Yes. Well, no,
Okay.
no, no. So here is my, okay, so that is what is the clarification here. So my akarma I was really taking is just the actions, like what I go do good towards others, towards myself, towards my family, towards job, or whatever I'm doing in an entire lifetime. That is what I
Uh-huh.
was understanding as akarma in terms of good actions, like doing good deeds.
Oh, no, 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 no. No, no. Let me write here. So
Mm-hmm.
karma means good actions.
Okay.
And then vikarma, you can say vipreet karma, which means bad actions. Or against the scriptures. And then comes akarma. I'm writing here. Akarma aligned with God.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay, aligned with God's will.
Hmm.
So what is that good karma? For example, uh, I want to feed food to hungry person. That is good karma. So I will get some benefit. I will go to heavenly planets or somewhere. But the result is that I will come back again on this earth. But what is a karma? I will offer this food to Krishna, and then I will feed to hungry people. Then what would happen? I will also get bhakti. These people will also get bhakti, and I will also not incur any pious or sinful activity on that part.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes, Prabhu, it does. Thank you so much. Yeah, so
No,
yes, that really helps. Thank you. Thank you.
no problem. No problem. Okay. Anything else from anyone? No, not anyone. Not a single question. Okay. Okay. So once again, thank you so much for joining, everybody. I'm very grateful that all of you find out time and join it. So we'll stop now. Mataji, as I said, we'll be sharing the recording with all of you. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Oh, I'm
Hare
sorry.
Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah, if you want to drop off, you can drop off. Actually, Ishani Garg Mataji said I dropped a call. I apologize. I could not take that up. Give me 1 minute. I'm going to check now. Prabhuji, I have heard that Krishna will be happy and will listen to us fast if we chant the name of Shri Radha, as their bond is eternal and so pure. What is that? Follow that. So pure, okay. And then what is it? So she's saying, Ishani Mataji is saying that can we chant Krishna's name and Radha's name together? See, the chanting that we do, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. that chanting itself has Radha's name in it. So when we say Hare, we are actually addressing the energy of energetic Krishna. Radharani is the energy of Krishna, and Krishna is full energetic person. So when you say Hare Krishna, which means Radharani's name and all the great sages, everyone is included. That's the energy of Krishna. All of them have been included in the same Mahamantra. So we don't need to separately chant other names if we are chanting Hare Krishna's name into this. Okay, does that answer your question, Ishani Garg Mataji? Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much for joining, everybody. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.